Hey everyone, this is Carmen. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about value proposition copywriting because a value proposition communicates what makes you better and different than other brands, and it might be ultimately what actually makes a customer purchase from you versus another one. Because what makes you different and what makes you better than other brands are going to be questions going through a customer's head when they're engaging with you. So you want to be equipped with a UVP or unique value proposition to deflect this. Otherwise, you just blend into all the other businesses on the market. So just to begin, a unique value proposition is just a unique identifier. So when people think of a business or a problem that needs to be solved, they think of you. Now, it's not that easy, and it's not exactly what you might think. It's not a slogan, it's not a logo, it's not a tagline. It relates more to customer experience, customer service, and overall branding. Now, if you're interested in writing a really good UVP, I have some strategies I want to share with you, and it begins with just understanding your audience and what do they care about. So a unique value proposition needs to excite a very small hyper segment of customers, not everybody, not the world, but just a small group of people. And Kevin Kelly, who is a great marketer, calls this your 1,000 true fans, which is a very small group of people that just love your product, everything you offer, and they rave about it and tell other people about it. For example, if you had 1,000 customers coming back every month and you're a SaaS company that sells a product at $50 a month, that's $50,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. And also keep in mind that 91% of consumers want to buy from an authentic brand. You can study a customer base in a lot of different ways. So you can look at trade publications and market reports. You can analyze public data from governments and other institutions, break down how competitors are marketing themselves and who their customers are, engage with fans on social media and see patterns and trends. You can conduct focus groups, surveys, or questionnaires, and then use tools like Google Analytics to see who's coming to your website and how they behave. Now, you want to use this information to answer questions like what problems are my customers facing? What solutions do they need? What experience have my customers had with other brands, whether they're good or bad, and how can we improve upon that? What are my competitors doing and how can I do it better? And who are my customers in terms of demographics and psychographics? And just having all this information allows you to make a buyer persona, and then you can essentially start crafting a UVP, which aligns with this group of people and what they ultimately want in your product. Which brings me to the second idea, which is what problem do you solve? Because customers buy products not for features and different things like that, but to solve an issue they're experiencing. So think of banks, for example. They all do just about the same thing. It doesn't matter if you walk into Bank of Montreal, RBC, or TD, and those are Canadian banks for all my international listeners. They all offer pretty much the same thing in terms of high interest savings, business accounts, all that kind of stuff. And for example, I used to be with a bank that was pretty outdated. They didn't have mobile check deposits. They had very outdated physical locations. Yet other local banks had all these features and more, and that itself is a unique value proposition. They solved small problems and inconveniences that other banks like the one I was with didn't. And that's why I suggest you brainstorm all the problems you solve for customers and what competitors don't solve. Now, if once again you research your customers greatly, like I said in the first strategy, then this will be much easier to acknowledge. Now, another good example is Starbucks. Every time I walk into this one that I go to and work from pretty often, they know my name, what I usually order, and they just really engage with customers on a much deeper level than pretty much any other coffee shop. And once again, that's a unique value proposition. So it's not necessarily a product or anything to do with their logo. It's just an experience you give people and something they can remember. Now, number three is what makes you special, because now you know your customers, you know your competitors. So what makes you different in terms of the product you offer, the customer experience you give, and anything in between. And remember that unique value propositions can be found everywhere from websites, products, content, communication. So for example, this might be better pricing than other competitors. You offer maybe a tailored customer service experience, content quality, proprietary technology or features, certain branding elements, community engagement, who you target. Maybe perhaps it's your portfolio and the people you've worked with. Just find all the little and big ways you stand out. Write those down, maybe like a Word doc or a spreadsheet to stay organized. Now, you need to think of a value proposition like a mission statement. It needs to just sum up everything very quickly and be very concise. You may publish it on a website, a brochure, other areas, but for the most part, it's internal. It's something you reference with you and your team when you're writing content, engaging with consumers, doing advertising, and anything like that. That's why you should write it down perhaps in a document that you can share with your team and everyone can reference while they're working and doing different projects. So my tip number 5 for UVP writing is practicing your elevator pitch, because practice makes perfect, and a really good UVP isn't going to just poof out of thin air, as cool as that would be. Rather, you have to write several versions and practice copywriting exercises to refine it. So that's why doing an elevator pitch is really good, because an elevator pitch is a quick summary of your business what it does and why other people should buy from it. Now, this is also great if you do public speaking, networking, and just go on a lot of discovery calls, because then you literally practice just how to do sales and it's going to transfer into different things. But a template for an elevator pitch normally is an introduction of you and your company. You explain what you do and how you help people. You then grab attention maybe with an interesting fact, a really big detail or client that you've had. And then you explain how all this is done, and then you summarize about what makes you different, okay? So you don't have to use this one exactly, but if you want to research elevator pitch templates and start actually writing them down, because it takes a bit of information and outlining, so you can look up different templates, fill them out, and then you'll have a different idea of what makes you better and different, and then you can start communicating that in different ways. All right, now I just want to give you some actual examples of unique value propositions in the real world, beginning with Walmart. So when you go to the Walmart website, there's actually a little headline that says more ways to save, and you can see directly on their website, it lists rollbacks, clearance, deals of the week, and even their weekly flyers. So they're all about cost savings, and that's their unique value proposition, is that if you shop at Walmart, you're going to get better deals, you're going to save money, and that's an affordable option for groceries and whatever other consumer products you need. And another really good one is McKinsey. So they're the top consultancy in the world. And right on their website as well, they have a little section that says, come to McKinsey to do the best work with the best teams and truly be at your best. So joining them essentially means you're going to be performing at the best company in the world with high performers, and then you're going to also unlock your full potential if you want to work there. Thirdly, I thought this was a really cool one. There's a company called Morpheo.ai, and they are the world's first advanced marketing security software. So right on the home page, you see that above the fold. And that's really cool because, once again, it goes back to proprietary technology and features. You can't even necessarily compare them to anything because of the first of its kind. That's the value proposition itself. So if you have unique features or something that makes you really stand out on the market, make it known, because people want new things, they want to try new products, and they want something that's different. So just to sum up, a unique value proposition prevents your brand from looking like a clone of everyone else. It shows what makes you special, different, and why customers should choose you over competitors. Nonetheless, a lot of businesses actually operate without one, and it's just not a good thing for branding. So if you follow the strategies I outlined today, you should be able to piece together a really good value proposition, and then just make sure that your team and you have this documented to constantly reference, and that it also makes your branding and everything overall much more smooth.